I just want to say how much I do love the series. It's funny, it's touching, it's sad, it's taps into so many different emotions, and just congratulations on it. It's been an amazing first series, amazing first season.
Thank you so much. It's been really fun.
Yeah. So, where did your passion for acting begin? Like, was it something that someone inspired you, or is it your family, or where did it all start for you?
It definitely wasn't my family. I think it was a combination of just loving movies as a kid, but also being a big bookworm. And I was a really stubborn and proud kid. And I read out all of the books in my hometown, like children's section of the library until I saw the biggest book on the shelf that I could find. And it was a complete work of William Shakespeare. And I was like, I'm going to read that. And then I read it and I didn't comprehend anything at like 9 years old. But I think that planted the seed, because then when I learned that you acted Shakespeare, I kind of loved the idea of that and I got into Shakespeare. So I started in Shakespeare.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite, but I've got favorite characters. I love Queen Margaret. Um I love Catherine and Taming of the Shrew. Obviously, she's I've played a couple characters that I've channeled her for sure. Um Oh, I don't know. I think my favorites to see are probably Twelfth Night and Midsummer. Yeah.
Very cool. I will have to go back and review. I know them, but I'm still kind of trying to interpret them all.
I need to
One
go back.
film or one book at a time.
Yeah, for sure.
When you find somebody who knows Shakespeare, you realize how little you know Shakespeare, and that's where I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Even when you just asked me that question, my brain was like, my brain hasn't done this in a minute. I need to like figure out.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No,
I'll
no.
stay off Shakespeare.
I need to be I'm yeah, no. I need to go back and read through. I have I actually I don't have my bag right here, but I just put a copy of Comedy of Errors in my bag in hopes that like I'd be out and about and my phone dies and I pick it up and start reading it. Or I should just start reading it. I don't need to wait until my phone dies.
Yeah. My daughter's name is Cordelia, so every time we bring it up, someone asks me about King Lear, and I'm like, I mean, I've read it, but I have to go back and study it and really understand the characters and all that, because people get so deep. And I'm like, it's her name though. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's not the
Cordelia is a
character.
beautiful name though.
Oh,
Cordelia,
thank you.
it's a beautiful name.
So let's get into shrinking before this becomes Shakespeare 101. Um, as a father, my Alice's relationship with Jimmy really hit me, and watching them struggle to put the pieces back together, um, through the pain and working this out individually and trying to figure out a way to work it out together. You guys made me cry several times. When you read through when you read through it originally, what about Alice made you want to take on that role?
The apparent strength that she has and the complexity of being an adolescent while also kind of having to abandon her experimental adolescent phase because she has to step into the shoes of the parent or the grown up in her household. So I think, yeah, her strength. She's a really strong kid. She doesn't really, I don't think she really knows what she wants at this point. I think right now she's just kind of in survival mode. And um, reading the script, that's what attracted me to Alice, but reading the script in general, I mean obviously attracted to the good writing and the good cast and the good team,
Mm-hmm.
but also the way that Alice kind of puzzles into their world. I think that she's the her and Sean are both the emotional keystones in this storyline, these two characters that kind of ground and round out this ensemble of incredible comedic actors. So I was just excited to be in proximity to that.
Yeah, and so she's dealing with this monumental loss and just so much, but there's still humor, drama. It's really wonderful how layered not just her character is, but all the characters are. What is it? Is there something that you wanted to bring to the role? Something that you saw in it that you said, "Hey, I could bring something special here."
Oh God, I wish I had an answer for that and I could say, yes, I have some like magic thing I can bring to the table. No, I don't really think so. I think that acting, in my opinion, an actor, is bringing bits of themselves into every role that they play, and they abandon a lot of parts of their personal selves when they go into a role. And I think that, whatever little something I have that clicks with Jason that really made us have chemistry in our first read through, those little magic somethings that we can't quite put our hands on. I think that that's what makes the chemistry and what helps a performance be a good performance.
What was it like working with Jason?
I mean, just the most lovely from the get-go. And I'm not just saying that. I think that he's genuinely one of the kindest, most thoughtful people I've ever met in this industry. And it's an honor and a pleasure to act alongside him because, oh my God, when you get to have an acting partner that you are comfortable with beyond, then, I mean, all the world's a stage. Like you can just play as much as you want to any capacity. And we were so lucky that our two characters obviously have this kind of tense dynamic. So we were bouncing back and forth or oscillating between being extremely angry at each other or having this contention or having this pain, and then having these incredibly light comedic moments that he's trying to break through to Alice with. And we just had the entire field to play on. So it was really great. And I mean, obviously, and yeah, Jason is just my cheerleader. I always feel like he's just always cheering me on. He always texts me and is just like, hey, just saw this, reminded me of you. Or, hey, just thinking about how cool you are and how great of a human you are. Just like, is the most uplifting. I think that he went through his thing in Hollywood when he was young, and I know he sees a part of himself in me and wants to make sure that I feel supported in this industry. And my God, I do by him.
Wow, that's wonderful. If you want, I'll give you my number. You can have him text me. I could use someone like that in my life. That's fantastic. So in addition to Jason, you get to work with a trio, the dream trio of producers and creators with Brett Goldstein and Bill Lawrence. What was that like? And what was it like, actually, what was it like getting that first call and saying, hey, we're thinking about having you on this series?
Oh, well, okay, so I hadn't watched Ted Lasso when I got the audition. That's the first, when I got the audition that came in, that's the first time that I kind of saw this trio on paper working together. I, of course, knew of Ted Lasso. I think I had seen an episode. All of my friends were obsessed with it. I was just pretentious and like, I'm not going to watch something that's really popular and cool and like the best show on TV right now. And I should have, and I did after I got the audition, and I loved Ted Lasso. But I'm rambling. But yeah, I think because of that, there was a certain level of intimidation that I wasn't experiencing going into the audition. I think that I had a good script that they had sent me. I had a good character in front of me. And when they invited me to read with Jason and Luke, actually, as well, in my first read, I read with the both of them. I went into it more confidently than I normally go into auditions. I just kind of, it felt right. I knew the character, I knew the script. It's that magic little thing I'm saying. It's like I can't quite pinpoint it. It's an instinctual thing when you can empathize with a character deeply beyond what you feel like is written on a script.
Yeah, it's probably lucky of you that you were too stubborn to watch some Ted Lasso, because it probably would be even more intimidating that, didn't get to deal with that and get to focus on your craft. It's probably why you're here.
Absolutely. And then after I watched Ted Lasso and like met with them in the room, I was like, oh, these are like big time people that like make really good TV shows. And then I didn't find out about, the rest of the cast until after I had been cast. And so all the other intimidation factors of Jessica Williams, who I was obsessed with, and Harrison Ford being on this TV show, I'm glad that I've been going into these steps kind of blindly, because I think that if I turn on the freak out factor, then my brain will go crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of more natural though. You get to, kind of be introduced like in more human level and
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to get involved with the character rather than thinking about who, the resumes behind them. So it's
100%.
and speaking of Harrison Ford, you're working with a living legend, and there's just some beautiful moments between the two of you. And I was just curious, what was it like when you actually first met him? How did that relationship start, and how has it evolved?
The first day I met him was at the table read. We were all in the room with all the execs, like sitting around this giant table. I didn't say hi to him before. I don't think I got it. I think I met almost everybody before we sat down to read, except for Harrison. Because I think he walked in, from what I remember, he walked in kind of later and he just kind of like sat down and then we began. But I remember that day after the table read, he walks over to me, like across the room is looking at me, walks over to me, no words. This man just puts one arm on my shoulder and goes like this. And then walks away. That's
Oh, geez.
like
I'd pass out.
that was like the most Harrison Ford thing that he could have done. But then, yeah, the first time we actually like spoke and had a conversation was our first day shooting together, which was the first park bench scene that we have. And he's lovely. He's just the coolest. He's just so cool. He's just so cool.
Yeah, it's great how your relationship, you're friends. I know you're
Yeah.
kind of a patient, but you're kind of like at the same time, and this is with all of the characters, everybody's treating each other, and to see Harrison Ford be vulnerable, and sometimes you're the strong one in the relationship, and it's just great to see that dynamic, which is just so rare, but also making it work and feel real and feel funny and feel a human, and tap into, like, again, like I was discussing beforehand, there's so many emotions this taps into. It's not an easy show to describe, and it's not an easy show to sell to somebody, but it's an easy show to appreciate once you're in there.
Thank you.
So as I was saying, Alice is connected to so many characters, Sean, Paul, Liz, Gabby, pretty much everyone across, and you have all these damaged and broken characters intentionally and sometimes unintentionally helping each other. What character relationship are you looking forward to exploring most in this upcoming season? Well, when that happens in season 2.
I'm really excited for Alice to be done being angry at Jimmy. I'm excited for us to be on the same team. I think that's I have no idea what the direction we're in. I'm hoping for that. But I also would love more scenes with Michael, who plays Brian. I think that Brian was Jimmy's best friend and close friend of Tia's, and we haven't fully flushed out that relationship, but he was definitely around in the house. So I feel like, Alice obviously would love Brian. So I would like to flush that relationship out. I'm really excited to have scenes with Jessica, who plays Gabby, just because that godmother dynamic is so sweet. And just, working with another woman on set is always really empowering in ways that you don't feel until almost after you do it. So I love her. I love her to death.
And do you have any idea, or do you have any hopes for where the relationship with Sean goes? It starts so oddly, and then it just becomes, they're great to watch together. So every scene you're interested in as to where it goes, and then you get to about that halfway point, and things started going in directions I wasn't sure if it would take. So
yeah, I think that in that scene where Alice tries to kiss Sean, it's narrated over by Harrison saying, like, two broken people will always find a way to find each other, or something to that degree. And I
vulnerable people, I think he says.
Yes.
Yeah.
Vulnerable people. And I think that's exactly it. That's what Alice is feeling immensely at the time. I don't think obviously Sean is necessarily feeling that. But also, I don't know. I don't think it's something that will develop. I don't know. I don't think it's something that will develop. I feel like it had a good resolution. They, like, Alice helped him out with the business. They're rebuilding their friendship in a way that it's not awkward for Sean. I think they had, I mean, there's that moment when they're dancing together at the wedding at the end of episode 10, and Jamie kind of scoops in, but there's good vibes. We're definitely friends. I don't know if they're wanting to kind of venture off into romance land. I think that Alice learned her lesson, and I think that I think it was another flag, another thing, or I don't know what I'm trying to say, like a message for her to focus on herself, because she hasn't dealt with grief yet. She hasn't dealt with the grief of her mother yet. She's watched her dad try and grieve, and she's had to be the one to keep her shit together. But I don't think she's fully had a chance to grieve. She's trying to get it out in these 15-minute sessions, but it's not, she doesn't have closure, is what I'm trying to say. So
sure.
I think that she's going to focus on herself. I hope that she focuses on herself. I hope that if the writers are listening to the podcast right now, I hope that she focuses on herself.
You know, but thing is, it's great also to have the platonic relationships, which you rarely do. Everything always leads to romance, and you're like, you know what? Yeah. Why do they have to? I'm sure you're much more in tune with Alice than I am, and it sounds like you have a better vision for her path. So
I'm on Team Alice. I'm not on Team Alice and Sean at the moment. I think for season 2, I want her to. I want my girl to focus on herself, but we'll see. Right.
So you do have this massive cast, and not massive, but massively talented. You've got this great group of comedic and dramatic actors taking on some roles that some go against type, mainly Harrison's roles. But I was just curious, what is the chemistry like on set? Like, and where do you fit in? Are you the quiet one, the joker, or it seems like it would be a fun set and with some very generous actors.
Yeah, I mean, our cast, like, these are some of the funniest people ever. Even Bill and Neil and James, like all of our producers and, writers that come to visit on set almost every day. I will say initially, my place was being the terrified child in the corner of the room, trying to figure out like how I could possibly be in the company of all these people and fit into this world. I felt pretty comfortable pretty quickly. These are really fun people. They're all there to have a really good time with, and also a lot of them have worked together before. So it feels like you're coming into a community. Everybody loves each other. Everybody has like barbecues with their families. It's a very tight-knit group of people. I wouldn't say that I'm the funny one on set. I think that I probably am definitely taking the role of like the Gen Z kid that's like, this is how you look at a meme, or like, whatever, like don't blast somebody with 45 emojis at once. Like, I think that that's probably my role. Or if somebody's trying to post something on Instagram stories horizontally, I'm like, don't do that. You can figure out another way to make it look better. But yeah, I'm definitely not the funny one. There's too many other powerhouse. I'm just here for the ride to witness funny. I have nuggets of excitement when I feel like I am funny on set. When somebody laughs at something that I say, that's like fist pumping in my mind, like over and over and over again. Like I will not write that down. That's the best day if somebody laughs at something I say. But yeah, I'm not the funny one. There's too many other funny people on set.
Has it helped you on set bring out the comedic side of yourself?
Yes and no. I think going into season 2, we got really close. We all got really a lot closer as well while we were doing press, and so I'm excited to go into season 2 even more comfortably with the whole ensemble. Um, I feel like I can't, I feel like I can, but also it's like that pressure of, you know, these are comedic legends that I'm around. So it's not, every time I'm trying to be funny, I'm trying to be funny. It's not, I don't know. I feel like I'm funny in my day-to-day life with my friends when I'm comfortable and I'm hanging out with my homies. Do you know what I mean? But like,
Oh no, I'm referring to when you're actually delivering your lines and you're, and these comedic,
oh,
you have all these great, mentors around you. So how does that help you, kind of with that part of their process?
oh, in terms of my work, yes. I mean, again, like they are the greatest examples that I have in front of me. So, and they carry the energy to have on set. So yes, I absolutely I'm learning. Was used to be terrified of comedy, and I feel like I can hold my own around these guys. I'm just trying to be cool with them in real life offset is what I was getting at.
And is there a moment with Alice that really connected with you or affected you emotionally from season one?
Oh, I'm crying to I Know the End by Phoebe Bridgers. I think that a lot of people related to that and resonated with that moment. Uh she would definitely be on my playlist of songs to cry to. If I was going to do the 15-minute exercise. But what else did I relate to? Like a certain moment. A certain moment. I don't know. I feel like that's a good one. I also I don't know. Alice is different from me, which I like. I spoke to her strength earlier and how I enjoy playing that, and I enjoy finding nuance in her trying to be strong but falling apart. I'll say that I'm different from Alice because I would not ever in a million years talk to my parents the way that she talks to Jimmy. I think that she's really harsh with the guy, honestly, but I mean, maybe for good reason. I don't know. But I do remember there's that one scene where Jimmy grounds Alice, and the scene ends with me saying, I fucking hate you. Just screaming at his face, I fucking hate you. And him responding with, I fucking love you, as I'm like running upstairs to my bedroom. And it broke my heart every single time we did a take of that, because it felt, I just had to hug Jason after every take because it felt so wrong shouting that in his direction for the character. Yes, of course, as like a teenage convoluted mind, I couldn't of course see how that's coming out, but just for me and my relationship with Jason personally, at the end of the day I was like, I don't hate you, I love you so much. But yeah, sorry I twisted that question all around, but
No, that's all right. That's all right. My questions are too twisty. I think that's the problem. Is there something that you hope viewers take away from this series? It's like, I mean, there's so much you can dive into. It's just as a comedy, it works alone, but it talks about grief and healing and so many other different aspects. Of course, loss but is there anything that you hope that you really want viewers to connect with?
well, I think like with any movie or TV show, we're looking to find some material that we connect with. And I think that in Shrinking specifically, we have such a well-rounded cast full of well-rounded storylines and human emotions. And I think that there's somebody for anybody to relate to on this show. And that's kind of the point of it all, right? Is to just like reach out and find community when you're going through a tough time, and know that there's somebody out there. Maybe they're an unexpected person, but there is somebody out there to help you out if you're going through a tough time. And also, I hope people laugh. I know they will because it's funny, but I hope people keep laughing. Yeah.
That's very funny. That's for sure. I'm sorry. Can I add this in? Is there a funniest moment that definitely that tickles your funny bone? Something
On
that made
screen or
you
off
really
screen?
laugh on screen. You can do off screen as well. I'd love to hear that.
Oh, there's too many off screen. I can't even. But the times that I laughed the most, I just watched the series. I will say I just watched it, like the final cuts straight through for the first time. And it's so good. Our show is so good. The music is really good too. I didn't have like final post when I watched it the first time. Anyways, the scenes that I laughed the most during, there was the one scene, I think it's in 9, where Liz and Brian are watching Jimmy prepare his or practice his wedding speech. And that dynamic to me, those three on screen together, for some reason was so funny. It was so funny to me. I could not stop laughing at that. Also, another moment, this is an on-screen and off-screen that I was losing my mind and had a really hard time not breaking, was when we were shooting Zach Braff's episode 8, Alice runs away to hook up with this, or attempt to hook up with this college boy at USC, and Jimmy and Brian and Paul come and rescue her. And the moment when they walk in and they say, you know, she's to the guy in the college kid, you know, she's underage, right? And Brian says that he's a lawyer, and the kid turns to me and goes, what? I thought you were 19. You said you were 19. And then Jimmy's retort when he goes, yeah, well, she's 12. That made me lose my mind. That was so funny. That was it was like my favorite part of the script when I read 8. I mean, it's a lot of great parts in 8, but that one, yeah, I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was scripted or if that was some improv there.
That was scripted, but there's, so many improv. Yeah.
That whole scene had me cracking up. I'm her lawyer and all that was just like,
yeah,
cold.
Ridiculous.
So let me close out with one very quick and sometimes easy question. 3 words to describe Alice.
Oh God, I should have this better well prepared. My cat's trying to join.
Yeah, my cat is around here too.
Can I just say ready to grieve?
Sure, that works. 3 words, any 3 words, that works for me. So,
yeah,
and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, even though it is painful at times to watch her go through this, and to see that, the loss of a parent is incredibly tough. But to be surrounded with such funny and talented people, and to be part of that mix and see her, it'd be a wonderful group to heal with. So I'm looking forward to watching more of it in next season. So thank you so much, and have a great day.
You too. Thanks, Stephen.
Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.